Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports Talk with Hardball Unlimited, Baseball Edition, Episode 4. I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
I'm thirsty.
And he's Jack. This week we got some cool stuff to talk about. We're going to do our all-time favorites team. Chad put together a little list, a little challenge for me and Josh today.
Oh, I think it's going to be interesting.
And then we got, obviously, the NL Central. So we'll jump right in.
And Hall of Fame talk.
And some
free agent talk.
Yeah.
Who we got in the free agent?
The Red Sox got a shortstop.
Yes, they did.
Who'd they get?
They traded for Alberto Mondesi. The Royals traded Michael Taylor to the Twins.
I mean, Boston kind of had to, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think that's a good...
No, yeah, but
I think that's
probably the best case scenario for
That's
them.
better than them talking about Kiki coming from the outfield.
Well, yeah, and he's a better defensive shortstop than Trevor. Like, Alberto Mondesi can really pick it and really run. The problem with Alberto Mondesi is he can't hit his weight, and he probably weighs 165 pounds.
Yeah. Well, he's just going to play defense.
Or, yeah, just play defense and look sexy, apparently.
That's twice.
Keep the boat afloat.
Yeah. Allows them to keep Story at second, too.
Hall of Fame.
Because I did see he plans on playing in 2023.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame talk.
Absolutely excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Congratulations, Scott Rowland. I didn't know I got all 4 of his jerseys, but I wore his World Series jersey with the St. Louis Cardinals. In his tenure 4 teams, drafted by the Phillies, 1997 Rookie of the Year. Then goes to St. Louis Cardinals, wins his World Series title, goes to Blue Jays, finishes his career in Cincinnati, Silver Slugger Award, and 1997 Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Hold on, I'm still going. Hold on, okay? Just hold on. 97 Rookie of the Year, 7-time All-Star, 8 Gold Gloves, and the best defensive third baseman of his generation. Scotty Rowland. Congratulations. Welcome to Cooper.
I think your friend brought up a good point on Facebook, though. Mike Monroe, he comments, is he the 18th best third baseman of all time, though?
Well, there's 18 to put in.
Let
me ask this. Did anybody watch what MLB had on there? And listen to what players said and what writers said?
Love is a little different than
like in his generation. I did not say he was the greatest third baseman of all time. I'm not saying he's the greatest third baseman to ever play the game.
I'm not saying he should be in. I'm just asking the question.
I'm saying
I'll say it if
he's
you want.
the best third baseman of his generation.
That doesn't get you to be
Is
the
he
Hall
the
of
best
Fame.
third baseman of his generation?
I don't care if he is or not. Look at his numbers; they're average.
It does get you in the Hall of Fame.
No, he didn't do it. What? No, it does. It should not.
How many third basemen?
It's the Hall of Average.
How many third basemen have more Gold Gloves than Scott Rowland when he played?
Congratulations. Did that get Omar in?
In his span. Listen, that's the same argument for Omar.
I mean, Omar, outside of home runs, probably has more than, like, Scott Rowland isn't in the 3,000 club.
And then if
he ain't coming anywhere near 500 home runs.
Nope.
You don't. Hey, congratulations to Scott Rowland.
Maybe look at his postseason numbers.
Oh, sweet
I
Jesus.
mean, listen, he raked in the World Series. He's in. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's not Carlos Beltran or Jim Edmonds, but you know.
Now, I will say this: not letting the players who have been linked to the roids have opened it up for other players to get in.
So I will ask this.
I don't even know. I don't think Scott Rowland thinks Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer.
He is. We all seen it last night.
I'll ask this question real quick. They did kind of announce who will be available next year.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mauer, Beltre. Do we think any of them are first ballots?
Well,
Mauer's probably the best catcher of his generation.
Beltre should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to get dinged because of the 2017 sign stealing. He's going to get in. But the percentage of how low he got, I think, is the writer saying, hey, you're going to, but it's going to be a while. They're going to punish him.
What do you think?
No.
I think Mauer, you can make a case for him.
Mauer was
He's the best catcher of his generation.
No, he's not. Listen, Mauer did not have the longevity.
He's probably the second best hitting catcher, though.
But he didn't have longevity.
Neither did Albert Bell, but Chad thinks he should be in.
Albert Bell should be in. He's better.
I'm not trying to turn this into a fight.
He's better than Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer. Listen, I like Joe Mauer, but he didn't have the longevity.
I forget. There's a third one I saw.
Oh, sweet mother of God! So apparently, you
Beltray should be in.
Just play for 18
You think Beltray should be in, right?
And win 8 Gold Gloves, 7 All-Star
Carlos? I mean, he deserves to be in over Scott Rowland.
But I think Rowland deserves to be in. He definitely wasn't the most deserving on that list, though.
Well, no, you've got guys linked to the Royals.
I'm not even talking Royals.
I'm not being funny here, but I think Troy Kloss might have been a better third baseman. Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
Listen, that's your. I'm not saying you're wrong.
You are.
Listen, I'm a little excited.
Cool.
My favorite third baseman got in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, awesome. You didn't deserve it.
All right, that's enough Hall of Fame talk. We'll move on. We'll talk about our all-time.
The A-side, Jesus Aguilar.
Jesus.
You get scared.
You know who my favorite character all time named Jesus? Jesus Shuttlesworth. Ever seen that movie? Basketball movie? Classic. Ray Allen's in it.
Yes. Denzel Washington.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he know how to play curveball.
No, that's stupid. Sweet mother of God.
All right, so we'll talk about our all-time favorite teams now.
All-time.
Favorite teams.
Not the best.
Just
all-time favorite.
Our favorite players.
Yep.
And we'll start at the position of catcher. Josh's favorite. Go ahead, Josh. Who you have?
Yadier Molina.
He's a great pick.
That's a great pick.
He's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I love Yadier. When he goes in,
we're going.
I'll be there.
Yep. I had Vic.
Jury's waiting for you.
He asked. You coming? Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll bring some buddies.
I had Vic. I love Vic.
Maybe Scott Rowland can give him his gold jacket.
Maybe they'll both come on our show.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Also, Scott Rowland's not worthy of being in the Hall of Fame.
I won't bring Chad. I won't bring Chad.
I'll tell him right here. Like, Scott, listen, I love you.
I don't think Scott's coming to the basement.
Chad has no media credentials. He can't talk to them.
Oh, good, because I told him you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Who'd you have as catcher, Chad?
Well, listen, so I really like Sandy Alomar, but I didn't want to be homerish. So one of my all-time favorite catchers is Benito Santiago.
Oh, I like that pick.
He can absolute gun, and he was a Padre.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
Great pick. Next up, we have first
base.
base.
Threw from his knees.
He did.
He had a hose.
He did. He had a nice tight Jerry curl.
Yeah, he
did. It was sweet.
Next up, we have our first baseman. Did you have it first, Chad?
Well, I love Jim Thome.
Oh yeah.
But outside of the Indians, I really like John Olerud.
I like John Olerud.
Wore the helmet, and listen, in 1993, there probably wasn't a better hitter on the planet than John Olerud.
Yeah.
He could rake.
Yeah, he could.
I took Miggy. I love Miggy. He loves baseball.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with Miggy.
Yeah.
I love how Miggy just has fun playing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He'll steal your hot dog on first base line.
Miggy and not Beltran.
Beltran.
Beltran. Oh yeah, I love watching it.
That's who's up. Beltran's up.
Oh, Beltran's not a Hall of Fame. Better than Scott Rowland.
I had Big Mac.
Yeah.
Straight up favorite love. I love watching Big Mac play. I love the Bash Brothers. Like, he was my guy.
I just thinking back now, I remember watching a game when Miggy was playing. Guy threw a nasty curve to him, and he takes a double look, and he's like throwing it's just so much fun. He recognizes how good that pitch was. Like, he just had fun.
I have a funny Miguel Cabrera story.
Let's
I was
hear
at an Indians game, and Miguel Cabrera's up, and like he steps out of the box, and the pitcher's in the mound, and it was Kluber, and Kluber kind of looks in at him, and then Miggy turns around, you can hear Francona yell, "Get your ass in the box!" And Miggy went after the inning, he ended up walking, but after the inning, Miggy was going in the Indians dugout, going in it, he wanted a piece of Tito. Nobody got thrown out with him, but it was just fun. I'm sitting in the lower level, and you could hear Tito say, "Get your ass in the box." Mickey's like, nah. Now, here's the question. Short-haired Mark McGuire or long-haired Mark McGuire?
Long hair.
Yeah, like long hair Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, I mean, that's...
Who you got?
That's what I like.
I mean, I like long hair.
Yeah.
Like, let it just flow back. Let it be a party.
That
was
might have
an
been.
era.
That might have been the only time the A's were cool. The Bash Brothers,
Yeah.
Stewart on the mound, just throwing smoke.
Extra giving up bombs
Yeah.
to Kurt Gibson.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to
Oh,
second
wow.
base. We all know who you have. Josh, who you got?
Robbie Alomar.
Robbie Alomar.
I have I love Robbie, but I didn't want to be a homer, so I also went with another guy, Ian Kinsler from
Good
Texas. I love.
I like
Ian
Ian
Kinsler.
I went with a personal favorite. Obviously, this one is Dustin Pedroia. I really enjoy.
You can't go
watching him
wrong with
often.
Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
I like those.
Listen, Ian Kinsler played big in the World Baseball Classic when USA won it.
Yeah, listen, Ian Kinsler
big.
he could really play.
Yeah.
Next, we had third base, and I took Beltre at third base. Who'd you have, Chad?
I love Manny Machado, so I had to give a shout out to Manny Machado. But if it's not Manny Machado, I really like.
I really enjoy how Chad has two picks for every one of them.
You're welcome. But I really love Robin Ventura.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Robin Ventura, and he got his butt beat by Nolan Ryan. Destroyed him.
Who'd you have, Josh?
Third base.
Yep.
Scotty Rowland. Favorite third baseman. Loved it when he went to the Cardinals. Got to watch him in the World Series. Got to play on a good team. Scott Rowland was my favorite.
It's a good pick. He's just not all of it.
All right, then at shortstop, I had clearly my favorite player of all time, Omar. Didn't need a glove. He was fun to watch.
Well, you can't go wrong.
No.
Did you have?
I mean, are you really gonna ask me?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter. He's my number two.
Just Derek Jeter.
I had two for this too. So I really like Ray Ordonez.
Yeah.
And I
He was a Met.
And I really like Troy Tulowitzki.
I like.
I like Tulo.
Yeah, I do too.
Now we get to the fun part, I guess. Left field, did you have, Chad?
Albert Bell. I had Albert Bell. But if it's not an Indian, Moise Lou.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I took the better left fielder that was in Cleveland, Manny Ramirez. Yeah, he's better.
Oh, he's not, but okay.
My pick, I actually got to meet him at a charity event. Super nice guy. And a lot of people, like I've heard on TV, say he's a jerk. But he's a great guy. David Justice. Probably the one guy that fell in the right spot everywhere he went.
Yeah.
The Braves, Cleveland, Oakland, New York. I mean,
Dave Justice is a winner.
Yeah, he found a playoff team everywhere he went.
And he probably was a little underrated. Honestly, I thought he was a good defender.
I did too.
I mean, he could hit 40 home runs.
Above average arm.
Won the World Series for the Braves.
Right. Could hit it out of the park.
That home run against Cleveland probably was the backbreaker. So
yeah.
Who'd you have?
I told you.
I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Albert Bell. I have the obvious
Albert
I didn't know if you wanted to rethink your decision.
I picked Moises Alou too.
Center field, who do we have, Josh?
A guy who I thought was underrated. But again, I'm a Yankees fan. I love Bernie Williams.
Bernie is underrated.
Yeah.
It's probably the only nice thing I'll ever say about the Yankees.
Look, he's a big keystone to that core that come up. You know, big reason they had a lot of their success. Bernie come up with some clutch hits in the postseason.
Or they bought every single player. You know what I mean?
That could be it. Who'd you have in center field?
I had Lenny Dykstra.
Lenny Dykstra? That's a good pick.
And I really like Kirby Puckett.
Listen, he's cuckoo for coconut. I like him.
Lenny Dykstra may be in prison. I haven't Googled it, but I think he is. Like for extortion or something like that. Listen, man.
Most times spent in the penalty box.
That Phillies team with like Mitch Williams and John Kruk, Lenny Dykstra, Darren Dalton, you know, like Mickey Morandini, like that team was a fun team.
Yeah.
I took the only current player I took was Mike Trout at center field. So,
I was looking through lists, and like they were ranking all-time center fielders, and they had Mike Trout at 1, and Junior at 2.
All time.
All time. Mike Trout. They said Mike Trout's the best.
Over Griffey and Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle.
Willie Mays was 3 and Mickey Mantle was 4.
I mean, in all honesty, can you put Trout over those guys yet? I mean, we haven't seen his whole career yet.
I don't think you can. They did. They did. They took Trout.
Yeah. And now we're moving on to right field. Who'd you have, Chad?
Well, again, I have
what
2
players did you have?
I wish I'd have known we get the pick too.
Well, listen.
Chad makes his own rules.
I do what I want.
Players playing different positions.
So I went with Vladdy because I was a big fan. But I also really love Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
And I think we agreed on this one. I had Ichiro, right? You had Ichiro?
Ichiro, right?
Yeah.
But like, you can't get wrong. Yeah.
Probably that would have been the greatest hitter of baseball.
Oh, what a shattered P. Road record if he played the whole time. Listen, he just got hits that not normal players got.
Yeah.
No, listen, I don't know because he didn't do it, but
right.
Maybe he would have.
All right, now we get to another fun position, DH.
I only got 1.
Ooh, we only got 1, but you can start. DH.
I actually went with Vladimir Guerrero. He DH'd later.
Well, he's got to be in the
later in
That's ridiculous.
He DH'd later in his years.
Okay.
I took
You
Tony.
got to switch position whenever played.
Yeah, you gave me shit for it for 15 minutes.
I took Tommy, being an Indians fan.
Right.
Fine. Anaheim Angels Vladdy. There, he DH'd.
Beautiful. Prince Fielder.
Woohoo!
I like that.
I thought Prince could really hit.
Yeah, I agree.
Couldn't run.
He's a big guy.
Couldn't run.
I can relate.
Now we get to the pitching. I'll go first, right-hander. I had Bartolo Colon. I think he's still playing.
Somewhere.
He goes on the ballot next year.
Yeah. I think that's the other one that was on the ballot.
If he gets in, I'll never watch baseball.
I think he's still playing down in Mexico somewhere.
He can get in the Hall of Fame of just cool guys.
Yeah.
I'd put him.
Well, listen, like when he hit a home run, like you should Google that because it's really fun. And then when he does the behind the back, yeah, that's cool.
Who'd you have?
And 2.
Of course he did. We didn't expect you not to.
Roy Halladay.
I have got 15 right-handed pitchers.
Roy Halladay, and the guy that I really loved, like I had T-shirts and everything else, Hideo Nomo.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Yeah, of course.
What we got over here?
Well, listen, then Roger Clemens was my favorite right-handed pitcher.
Roger Clemens is terrible.
You're terrible.
I know.
We'll move on. We'll talk about left-handers. Who do we have for left-handers, Chad? Which 6 left-handers did you choose?
Well, I Tom Glavine, and I like Cliff Lee. I'll take those 2.
Cliff Lee.
Both good.
Cliff Lee, the Indian Cliff Lee.
He picked,
And maybe the
but
Philly.
there's
Even the Philly Cliff Lee was still good.
But there was a better lefty in Cleveland. His name was CeCe Sabathia.
I don't recognize him.
I took CeCe as my left-hander.
He's on the ballot next year too.
No, he's dead to
As
me.
he should be.
He should be.
He's dead to me.
Favorite left-hander, Andy Pettitte. Loved Andy Pettitte.
Did you have any non-Yankees on here?
Yeah, there was a lot of non-Yankees.
No.
Listen, I mean,
I like the Yankees
Andy
too.
Pettitte and the next guy
Some
that
guy
we're gonna mention. When Andy Pettitte started and that guy closed out in the postseason, it was done. It was done.
I took him as well, so we'll go ahead and say it. Closing pitcher, the only one that ever mattered,
The greatest of
Mariano
all
Rivera.
time, Mariano Rivera.
By far. There's no one even close.
Well, this was the favorite one.
Well, he's also my favorite, so.
No, he really was my favorite.
Well, listen, I understand. I completely get with you guys. So, I had Eric Gagne
Oh yeah, I liked him.
and John Rocker.
John Rocker. I would wear a John Rocker jersey. I like John Rocker.
I
when
like
he
John
comes
Rocker
sprinting
too.
out, love John Rocker.
Yeah, like he flipped me off once. At Cleveland Stadium, we
Claim to fame.
were in left field, and like he was out there catching balls when he first got traded there. I think he'd only been there like 5 days. And we went to a game, and he caught a ball, and we're like, Rocker, Rocker! And he went like this, faked through it, and went, gave us the bird. So then we harassed him the entire game.
That's why we love John Rocker.
That's why I love him.
All right.
Thanks for flipping me off, John, if you watch.
All right. And so do we want to try to do this today or no?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right.
I think we should go to break.
Oh, then we'll go ahead and do this. We'll do the.
Or-
We'll go over the division real
Okay.
quick before we go to break.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not going to take long because NL Central sucks.
Let's see if Josh actually got it in the right order.
Did you get it?
You got a tie for last.
But there's definitely a team that's worse.
Yeah.
The Pirates and the Reds went 62 and 100.
Yeah. Well, there's a
So
team
what
that's
do you
worse.
start with?
Which one's worse?
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
Yes.
Listen, I think they'll have an upswing, but I think Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, let's start with Pittsburgh.
Rich Hill, 124 innings, went 8-7 with 109 strikeouts, 4.27 ERA.
He'll help that rotation.
Yeah. Bullpen wise, Bender with 51 innings, 69 strikeouts, 2.61 ERA, and Colin Holderman, 28.1 innings, went 5-0, 24 Ks with a 3.81 ERA. Those two guys are probably the bolster of the bullpen. Other than that, it's pretty bad.
It's getting better. I see some brightness for the Pirates.
Yeah? Where's that at?
Well, listen, they brought back Andrew McCutcheon.
They did.
An old man, Andrew.
Everyone's going to root for him.
Well, listen, they brought in a lot of old men. Because they brought in Carlos Santana.
Well, they're going to want to sell tickets.
And they brought in Austin Hedges.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible.
No.
Connor Joe from the Rockies. G-Man Choi, though, from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, I think they're better than Cincinnati. They lost Hoy Park. They lost Kevin Newman. Those guys are bums. O'Neal Cruz, stud. Cabrian Hayes should be a stud.
And they still haven't dumped their outfitter. Reynolds.
They're not dumping. They're all in.
On what? Not being last?
I don't know, but listen. I don't know. They got a prospect, Tamar Johnson. Plays second base. Watch out for him.
He'll be gone in a couple years.
No, I think they're way better.
They'll probably have control. So
I think they're. I don't think they lose 100 games this year.
Yeah, they'll definitely be better. I agree with that.
Do we think they're better than the Cardinals or the Reds?
100%.
I think they're going to be on a bigger upside than what the Reds are, in my mind.
Mine too.
I probably agree. So that'll move us on to the other worst teams.
Cincinnati Reds again, 62 and 100. High hopes for Hunter Green. He's got some games where he really looks good, and he's had some games where he looks rough. 125 and 2/3 innings, 5-13 record. So definitely not what they're looking for. 164 strikeouts. ERA's high too with a 4.44 ERA. Alexis Diaz went 73 with 83 strikeouts and a 1.84 ERA. Probably one of the guys that they want to see bolster in that bullpen, along with Fernando Cruz. And then Alex Young, I know, is one that they had high hopes coming through the minors. He only had 25 games, but he had an ERA at 2.36.
Their pitching might be better than the Pirates.
Yeah.
Will Myers. Yeah, I don't know what he does for you. Luke Maley, the former Indian. He can't hit. Kevin Newman, Nick Solak. But, they cut Mike Moustakas. Dylan Solano's gone. Aquino's gone. They have Votto, India, Stevenson. After that, it's really young. They got a young guy named Ellie De La Cruz, shortstop, who should come up this year that's highly touted, but offensively they're going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Now move us on to the middle of the division.
Chicago Cubs.
The Cubs. I think they made the biggest leap in the bounds.
Listen, they're trying.
I agree.
They're trying. They really are.
I agree.
Marcus Stroman, 6-7, 3.50 ERA. I'm sure they want to see him better. Kyle Hendricks, 4-6, another one that they're going to need if they want to make a run. They're going to need him to pitch a little better. They added Jameson Taillon, went 14-5 with 151 strikeouts and a 3.91 ERA.
Quality middle rotation guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And bullpen guy, Brad Boxberger, went 4-3, 68 strikeouts, 2.95 ERA. I think he's another one. He's going to keep getting better. The more years he's getting a pitch. They're probably going to put him in a little bigger role this year, maybe setup guy, or depending on how the depth of the bullpen is. But
yeah, no, listen, I'm a fan.
Offensively, they made the biggest leap, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dansby Swanson's going to play shortstop, which I didn't understand at the time. I'm like, wow, you're going to get Dansby to be the man. But, I mean, they went out and got Mancini, Eric Hosmer, who I'm going to guess.
Bounce back here?
Do you sign him for a bounce back here, or do you sign him just because he's a leader? Like, they got a lot. They still have Nico. Like, they have a lot of young guys.
I feel like we have seen the best.
Yeah, I think we've seen the best.
Well, yeah, like I'm going to guess he's more of a clubhouse guy.
Right.
Like a Gardy situation.
Yeah, they're gonna like Jason Giambi when he was with me. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But they got Bellinger, Tucker Barnhart to replace Wilson Contreras. He's gonna put up light numbers. I mean Contreras. I mean they got rid of Hayward's ridiculous contract that really strapped him. Ian Happ's an all-star. Nico Horner's really good. Patrick Wisdom's really good. I mean, they can make noise. And they got a big Matt Mervis is their biggest prospect. He's a first baseman.
Question for you: is there anybody still there from that World Series team?
No,
they're all
gone. No, Wilson Contreras was the last one.
I think the only one we have left is Jose, right?
2016.
Yeah.
Says a lot about those contracts were like that. All in it to win it.
Yeah. Because what? I mean, Frankie's gone.
Yep.
Edwin's gone.
Kluber's gone.
Andrew Miller's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Almost had Santana back.
Almost. They should have. I don't know why they didn't.
And that'll move us up to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Listen, I really like Corbin Burns. 202 innings, 12-8, 243 strikeouts with a 2.94 ERA. I really like the guy. He was a horse.
He's nasty.
Yeah, he is nasty. And he's going to pitch innings. Stay healthy. You can definitely count on him. Brandon Woodruff went 13-4, 190 strikeouts, 3.05 ERA.
Nasty.
And bullpen, Devin Williams pitched 60.2 innings with a 6.4 record, 96 strikeouts, and a 1.93 ERA. Only 65 games, but another guy that they're probably going to look to bolster that bullpen and maybe be a leader.
I think the Brewers have like a top 8 rotation.
Yeah.
The rotation
absolutely. The rotation.
They just can't hit.
Right.
They can't hit. And
aging a little bit with some of the guys. I mean, listen, Yelich, love the guy.
Well, he's no longer the guy, really.
Right. We probably see
Willie Adames is the guy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, but they didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, Owen Miller. Probably the biggest guy is William Contreras in the Braves in the Sean Murphy trade. And, if he could be really good for them.
Yeah.
He was an all-star last year. He hit 32 home runs.
I don't think you can expect much out of Miller, though, can you?
I don't think you do. I don't think you can expect much out of Owen Miller. They got Brian Anderson from Florida. He was terrible last year. I mean, they basically just cut him and said no.
Right.
So I don't know what you get out of him. Jesse Winker's interesting. Mm-hmm. I know he's hurt right now, but, he was not happy in Seattle. He wanted out. Maybe a change of scenery. He was really good in Cincinnati. Yeah. Maybe you put him back in that division, you get something out of him. I don't know. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, they're not good. They don't have many prospects ready.
Can the Cubs jump on this year?
I think the Cubs. I worry that their rotation's so good.
Keeps them in it.
Can keep them in it. But if they can't score, if Adames goes down, Yelich goes down, and they just can't score, I think the Cubs could jump them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see that.
And that leads us to the NL Central Best, St. Louis Cardinals.
93-69. Adam Wainwright, one more year. Probably the sunset year, riding off.
I really did.
Why didn't he go out with Yadier?
Yeah, I really thought he should have.
Come on, Adam.
Really should have.
Yeah,
you really didn't give.
You made a mistake.
He didn't give the numbers that I'm sure you want to give. 11-12, 3.71 ERA. Didn't pitch bad, but he's no longer the top of the rotation guy. What they will need though is Jack 30 stay healthy
and be
better. But he only in 9 games went 2-1, 33 strikeouts with a 4.25 ERA. Just not good. Not good. Mid-season trade, Jordan Montgomery, who I think is a good middle of the rotation guy. He's going to pitch you some innings. Went 9-6 with 158 strikeouts and a 3.48 ERA. And then bullpen, one of their top bullpen guys was Chris Stratton, 63 and 1/3 innings with a 10.4 ERA, 60 strikeouts. 10-4 win-loss record, a 4.26 ERA. Kind of gave up little homers here and there, but I think he's one that's going to end up being better. So,
I mean,
What about offensively, Chad?
they didn't really do much. Replaced Yachty with Wilson Contreras.
great move.
Yeah, great move.
And rip the heart out of your rival.
Yeah.
Well, did it? Because
I think it hurts.
we'll see.
I could be wrong, but I think it hurts.
I think the Cubs had a better offseason than the Cardinals.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And they'd have to. They'd have to.
Yeah. They lost Dickerson, Pujols, Yachty. Pujols carried them for the second half.
Man. Might be, is that the greatest swan song in the net?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree. Why, come back one more year, break the record?
Did get 700 home runs? I mean, listen.
What did he end up with? 703, 702, 703?
Yeah, something like that.
701.
What really does he have left?
Break the record. Don't let it be held by.
But what if you don't?
Steroid.
You're going to have to play more than 1 year. He's not breaking it next year.
No.
I mean, I think you got to see the right one. Listen,
If I'm the MLB though, wouldn't you think I'm like, hey, I'll
Is
pay you too?
is there a chance if they're struggling offensively? Because listen, they have a lot. I'm not sold they can win the division.
No, I agree.
Their rotation doesn't stay healthy.
I agree.
And Lars Newbar, you're counting on that guy, and Yepes, and all those young guys that aren't proven. Tommy Edman. I mean, Tommy Edman's usually good, but he's not what you would call a stud.
Right.
You really count on Goldie, Arenado, and Wilson Contreras to stay healthy.
Yeah, right.
One of those guys go down for an extended period.
And I think
I think they get jumped.
I think if Pujols didn't have as bad a year as he did with the Dodgers there at the end, maybe he does come around. But I think, hey, he saw how bad it can get, and then he saw how good it can get. Probably best time to walk away.
Yeah, I'm saying
You're not going to guarantee to do what you did again.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just would love to see someone.
Yeah, but he might have to play 3 more years.
Yeah.
Question for you, Josh. First to you. Which one of these guys is getting dealt before the trade deadline?
For the whole division?
Yep.
Or the Cardinals?
Just the division.
Ooh, I don't know. I have to really think about it. Pitching?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the Cardinals trade anybody they got.
In the offense, then we'll go to you too, Chad. So.
Yeah.
What do you think
I
offensively?
will.
I mean, would Milwaukee trade Corbin if they're not there?
I don't think they trade Corbin. I
He's
think they
still
would,
young enough.
I think maybe you trade Woodruff.
Yeah, I think
That
Woodruff would
could
be the one
be.
to move.
Woodruff would be who you would move.
That
You
could
get a
be.
big bat in the lineup.
Yeah.
But that's still, man. That's
I mean, you don't really have anybody on Pittsburgh and Cincy than anybody.
that's really, really risky.
Kyle Hendricks, maybe if the Cubs got a chance to get one step better.
Offensively, Ian Happ, maybe the Cubs center fielder. If they don't play up to expectation, maybe he goes. He's probably their biggest trade chip offensively.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if something happened, let's say it completely breaks down in St. Louis, Arenado's opting out.
Yeah.
Do they move him?
Good question. All right, I know we said we were going to do this, but we're already at 34 minutes. We will give these back to you, Chad. Instead of making all-time teams next week, we will do this next week. All right, Chad?
They're cheating.
Hey,
They're trying
you
to
can
screw
you can even change the decade next week.
Albert Bell.
You can.
We're not doing the 90s.
We can do a different decade next week if you want.
We're
all right?
wrong.
He's taking his ball and going.
We're doing the 1960s.